Good morning everyone, my name is Nagse Feroz and my today's topic is about holographic microscopy with Python and HoloPy. HoloPy is a library which is used in Python, which is written in Python to to uh, to extract images and develop the images from the holographic microscopy. The holographic microscopy is also used for detecting and recreating images in a holographic form or 3D form. The 3D forms are used in many applications, like when the 3D forms are used, they the holographic microscope produces some kind of images which constructs the images and the holo.py, and the holo.py is used to construct those images. Introduction. The introduction is that we have to encode the data in the 3 dimension. And Python data analysis ecosystem is so strong, so that's why they are using holo.py or Python in general. The resulting data can be used to extract some small amount of particles or microorganisms. The result data can be used to understand how small particles or microorganisms move and interact. And this is a simple setup they use for holographic microscope. The holographic microscope has some kind of laser and a sample and objective and tube lens and camera. This is the incident wave, and the object is in the middle, and the coagulated panel of the cameras are projected onto the tube lens, and that's producing some kind of waves around the particle which produces some kind of waves when it starts moving or when it is moving around. And this is how the simple electron microscope holographic microscope works. And making the holographic microscope is simple, like when the hologram is detected, then we have to interface with the algorithm, and we have to check whether it fits with the output or not, and resample the algorithm and resample the hologram. Why Python? As I said before, the Python's data analysis ecosystem is so strong. That's why it is very easy to extract and recreate data using Python. In Python, there is also NumPy package, which also uses which is also incredibly strong and important for brewing research group, since we needed to spend more time on building instruments and making measurements and thinking about physics and not writing the code. So they are using Python because it uses less lines of codes, and holo.py is still written in experimental scientists in mind, and the Python has been served as very pursuit, and Python has served us very well in the pursuit of goal, because it allows us to wrap legacy codes in common interfaces and integrate existing Python packages to add functionality to the code. And wrapping the scattered codes, this is a simple code. This is a simple code for small ecosystem, for small particle imported holo.py as HP. Here we can see they have imported holo.py as HP, and they have taken some calculations here, and they simulated the hologram of the sphere, and thus making it, if you want, you can also use it as spheroid. They can also simulate a spheroid, etc. Before going on to the topic, we have to know, let us take brief overview or tour of the holo.py. Simulating the hologram from an object and interfacing an object properties from the hologram. In simulating hologram from the object, the holo.py uses NumPy packages which generates different kinds of image objects, simulating hologram for the different types of objects by using, as we know, holographic microscope uses some kind of holographic microscope uses circles to detect the object and thus producing some kind of results. We can easily simulate thus by using NumPy package, which produces the numbers which we needed to generate the ripples, which we needed generating the ripples, and construct the package and construct the object which we need. We can this is how from the before we can see this is how simple thing works. And the interfering the object properties from the hologram, and we have to take the object's data. From the from the given simulated data, right? Simulated objects, right? So that is why we can use holograph by using different Python data analytics libraries like pandas and etc. to extract the data properties. This is simply how data works. First we will load the image. And associate the metadata. Then we have to if we want to take the object's data, then we have to fit the image. In some parameterized data. Then we are going to use the default data model and the old model and interface between the two models and construct the output data and we are going to show the result which is best fit for the project. And this is how small code should look like for writing in hologram. To extract data from the hologram, we have to have parameters and theory, and we have to see the illumination values, which is then written in finding the fitting algorithm to find the data and the model for the hologram formation, and we have to take the hologram to fit the data, and the results of the samples should be provided. This is a small code how it should be looking. And let us go to the conclusion. Let us say the conclusion is that the holo.py, we have learned that the holograph.py is used in very large applications, and this is the library which is used in Python. And for example, we have learned the modularity and encouraging the new science, although it is not always easy to wrap a scattered code. The holo.py modularity makes it easy use once it is wrapped. As a result, we can spend more time thinking about the physical phenomena we want to look at less, and we have to analyze the data. For example, if we want to include a scattered.py as a non-spherical colloidal particle, we have to realize that we could use the same model for the rod-like bacteria. As I told you, the holographic microscope is mostly used for analyzing the bacteria or small samples which can move around the surface, and we can also find that the more important calculations for the expeditions than the efficiency. We have to generally optimize our models only when it takes more than a few days to analyze the data from the experiment, because it physically typical time scale of the new experiment. While we are waiting for the analysis from the one experiment, we can do another. If necessary, we can also take the result from the analysis more quickly by using approximation methods like random subsetting for us. And it is more important that the calculations can be set up and started quickly with finishing quickly. Yes, a day spent writing code due to analysis is the day spent that could have spent doing more experiments, but a day that computer spends analyzing data doesn't cost any of the time in the lab. That's why they are using holo.py. To extract the data rather than sitting in a lab and constructing and writing some code to use the data and use the publications and etc. I will show you the GitHub repository of the holo.py if you want to provide some if you want to provide some applications and etc, if you want to provide some contributions, you can also provide the contribution. It is written in GitHub. I will show you. This is a GitHub repository of GitHub repository of the holo.py. We can see this is the different dot points, and this is the written code. This is the code written for the holo.py. This is how the everything works here, precisely fitting the characteristics of the module. We can see this is the holo.py website. This is a holo.py website, which is a library, so that is why they are using this thing. We can reconstruct the image, example of the reconstruction of image. We can also reconstruct the image, and we can also magnify the image and etc, and we can also fit the models to the data by using base parameters, and we can also reconstruct it. We can also load the data. First thing, we have to load the data, right? Loading and viewing the hologram. We can also load the hologram and view the hologram. This is the output file when we can use and saving and reloading the holograms. We can also save and reloading the holograms. Reconstruction of data can be used and reconstruction of the point sources. We can also reconstruct the point sources by using the data. And thank you.